the art market just got walloped big time. To quickly revisit the data collected between January 1st and May 20th of this year, auction sales of trophy lots, $10 million and above, plummeted by a whopping 51% compared to the equivalent period last year. The fine art auction market as a whole tumbled 14% to $5 billion worldwide. And tellingly, the much speculated upon ultra-contemporary art sector of work by artists born after 1974 fell down by 26%. So after years of steady growth in the market, these are very troubling numbers.
According to the previous podcast, our art market is currently in decline. But how do art market difficulties connect to our topic? If we look deep in the art sectors, many people are working behind the scene. For example, artists and curator. These two have the greatest influence on the issues because they form the foundation of the sector. So, how can an artist and a curator thrive in a low market environment? That's the true question. But today we're going to focus about a curator. Curator, an artist representative. A curator did a lot, from documentation, collection care to interpretation. But the thing is, they also need to take a look at the budget. Many galleries nowadays have struggled to keep their business running, and the fact that we were just hit by the COVID-19 made the situation worse. A lot of galleries start to close their business after this pandemic become a wake for them, and this become a serious problem for the curator. Because of the situation, we interview a curator that's still running their gallery on how can they survive with the financial issues. Encik Amir.
To dive deeper into the discussion of budget funding as a curator, we have interviewed our choice of curator, which is Encik Muhammad Amir Amin, who is a part-time curator. The interview was held virtually in Google Meet, and we have asked some questions on how he handles and manages limited budgets as a curator, as well as other miscellaneous issues that might also be financially affected. According to Mr. Amir, to make a big event, you need a lot of strategies and experience. He typically handles the budget for events by appointing an assistant or a co-curator, but he also occasionally assists in problem solving and distributing their part. He always separates necessary expenses from side ones like rent, design, and marketing. He also highlights the need to create a checklist to keep track of necessary expenses and ensure resources are allocated efficiently. Where the budget seems to be low, it is recommended to use cost publication. For example, printing out QR codes which lead to the e-catalog itself when scanned. The budget will be saved by 99%. And of course, Mr. Amin and the team had to sacrifice a chip in their own money and plan the most affordable but yet a creative set by working in DIY.
When curating for an art exhibition, budget constraints indeed plays a critical role. Here are some reasons why budget constraints are significant in the curation process. In art creation, acquiring artworks may involve significant costs, including purchasing or loaning pieces, transportation, insurance, and conservation. Budget constraints determine the scale and scope of the collection. Budget constraints affect venue selections, equipment rental, and overall production logistics. The budget also influences how the exhibition space is designed and configured. Constraints may limit the use of high-end technologies or custom installations. Besides that, in terms of lighting and presentation, adequate lighting and presentation materials are crucial. Budget constraints can impact the quality of lighting, fixtures, display cases, and information panels. Creating awareness and attracting an audience often requires financial investment. The marketing budget determines the extent of promotional activities, advertising channels, and outreach efforts. And in terms of publications, catalogs or publications are associated heavily with decoration. Budget constraints may affect the quality, quantity, or distribution of these materials. Curators often need to find a balance between their vision and the practical limitations imposed by the available resources.
To conclude, the art industry, particularly exhibition, heavily relies on budget management for successful planning, education, and development. Effective budget management ensures the conservation of financial resource. proactively dealing with budget issues as suggested by Mr. Amir is crucial. His simple solution, which is require no payment, is effective and appropriate for the situation.
The last words, curators are the link between the world's fantasy and reality, and they ought to be respected and recognized. That's all from us. Thank you.
Audio Jungle.